I heard that whole tree come down.
Even though we had all-wheel drive, I think it was better to chain up safe. Better to be safe than sorry.
Strong storms here in the west creating near whiteout conditions in the mountains and wind gusts bringing down a whole lot of trees. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to West Coast Wrap. I'm Alex Savage. The Pacific Northwest getting hit especially hard tonight, and we are not done with these storms. In Washington, this system brought heavy snow and wind, creating dangerous conditions for drivers on the roads and leaving many without power. The snow is piling up all across the west from Oregon out to Colorado. And tonight, here is what it looks like in Seattle. Clouds lingering over the skyline, a live picture giving you a sense of the conditions in the city tonight, where a whole lot of rain fell all throughout the day. Nearby in the mountains, enough snow is falling to cause concern about the potential for avalanches. We begin tonight's weather team coverage with Fox 13's AJ Janavel, who talked to people slowed down by snow in Snoqualmie Pass.
Was even deeper.
Amar Amir's car did not look like this when he parked it here Monday night.
If we missed this exit and kept going, we would have been stranded on the freeway.
Amar and his girlfriend, Abby, are trying to drive east to head back to school.
I knew there was a blizzard coming, but I was like, man, I can beat it, you know?
You need heavier manpower to beat this blizzard.
There was 19 inches of snow that drove the decision this morning.
Around 8:30 in the morning, WashDOT shut down eastbound I-90 for avalanche control. The program has been around for decades, and while they don't use the tank anymore, crews still do a bang-up job keeping the mountain roads safe.
They are watching it 24/7 just to assess, and that's why they do these avalanche controls, so they can actually prevent something that could be more catastrophic.
Due to the closure, traffic backed up on the interstate, which led to some drivers needing to refuel.
Do you want me to pay now or later?
But power outages at Snoqualmie Pass made that a challenge.
Sometimes we get it only a couple hours, sometimes 3 days, you know.
Paulo Ortiz tells me when you've worked here for 3 decades, you know what to expect, and that includes how to stock your shelves.
Some people want to change, they try to go make it home, you know. Some people buy alcohol because they like enjoying the mountain.
And that was Fox 13's AJ Janavel reporting for us tonight. Wind is another problem across Washington. A large tree in Federal Way came down right on top of an assisted living center during strong gusts today. 5 people had to be rescued here, but no one was seriously hurt. In that same neighborhood, another large tree came down on a house late last night.
It was kind of hard to see it like last night. You know, it was real rainy and the fire trucks were around, so I was like, I can't really assess the damage now. Yeah, it's pretty bad.
At one point today, power was knocked out to nearly 39,000 homes and businesses across Washington. Most of those outages were among Puget Sound Energy customers. Puget Sound Energy says its outages are down to about 12,000 customers tonight. Sporadic power outages also a big problem in Oregon tonight. Here is a live look at Mount Hood showing the snow piling up around the ski lifts here. Fox 12's Drew Marine explains some resorts shut down today because of these storms rolling in.
We've been here at Government Camp for the last several hours, and it has been snowing steadily ever since. The flakes are getting bigger as the day goes on, and the wind is picking up. It has posed some issues for drivers trying to get out of parking spots. We had to help someone move their car earlier today, but both Meadows and Timberline say this snowstorm is great. They've been needing it, and they do plan to be open in some fashion tomorrow.
A week or so ago, we had 28 inches on the ground. This morning, we have 63. And the forecast for this week is calling for, 4, 5, 6 feet, depending on what forecast you're looking at.
Blizzard conditions up on Mount Hood have closed both Timberline and Mount Hood Meadows because of high winds and low visibility, making it unsafe for anyone to ride in.
When we looked at it, we hadn't seen a forecast this strong in 10 years where they're calling for blizzard warnings. On days like today, didn't make sense to try to run, lifts in 55-mile-an-hour sustained winds.
While the lifts are closed for now, this dumping of snow is a beautiful sight after a slow start to the season. Some people taking the day to enjoy the fresh powder down in Government Camp.
Our customers are excited, and we can't get to, wait to get back to some form of normalcy, up here at the ski area. It's going to be good. There's going to be pow days for days.
Mount Hood Meadows is planning to have a delayed opening Wednesday, and Timberline is hoping to open their lower mountain lifts Wednesday too.
we want to open just as bad as you want to be here. So we'll do everything we can to get open. We just want to make sure, we're able to run the list without them being impacted by the weather.
With steady snow falling and lots of accumulation here in Government Camp, people were enjoying some cross-country skiing today as those resorts are closed. Mount Hood Meadow was supposed to host the Provide to Ride event today. That's since been rescheduled to January 30th. In Government Camp, Drew Marine, Fox 12 Oregon.
Well, strong winds getting thrown into the mix of stormy weather in Colorado today. Images posted to X show wind gusts keeping tree branches moving in Jefferson County this morning. That's about 80 miles southwest of Denver. When you factor in the wind chill here, some areas west of Denver will have temperatures that feel like they are below zero in the overnight hours. Not quite as extreme, but still very cold in Arizona. A hard freeze warning will take effect overnight south of Phoenix. These are images from Prescott, where a lot of new snow fell yesterday. Arizona Department of Transportation workers say they are doing whatever they can to keep the roads open. They're reminding drivers not to pass working snowplows. They say they've already seen one case of a driver colliding with a snowplow east of Prescott. Thankfully, no one was hurt in that accident. In Phoenix, this morning's cold temperatures convinced some people to alter their usual morning routines. Fox 10's Irene Snyder caught up with locals and visitors who ventured out in near freezing conditions.
A hat and coat wasn't what Daniel Harris had in mind when he planned to get away to Phoenix.
Actually, I'm not really prepared with this weather.
Harris is from Houston. When he touched down in Phoenix, he had to buy a beanie to keep warm in these unseasonably cold temps.
I tried to take my dog outside around 8 to 9 o'clock, but when I feel like it's really cold, so I changed my mind.
Lows here are in the 30s this week, rivaling temps in the Midwest and Northeast.
It's definitely weird. I'm not used to it at all.
Sarah Isengard lives in the valley, but she's originally from Ohio. She says she was shocked to wake up to this cold desert air.
I feel like the desert cold is a lot different than what I'm used to. It's been chilly lately.
She waited a little bit before taking her dog for a play in the park.
She's definitely a desert dog, but she's been fine so far. I have sweaters for her and everything.
But Theo says she likes the cold weather. It's a welcome break from that summer heat.
I love it. I mean, it's cold, it's a little brisk, but once you have some gloves on, it feels good.
Irene Snyder, Fox 10 News.
Well, more snow is headed to the Sierra overnight, where a winter storm warning is set to take effect before sunrise. Here is a live look tonight at Interstate 80 near Soda Springs, and you can see the cars here along this stretch of highway moving very slow. A lot of snow on the ground tonight. Earlier today, we talked with the lead scientist at UC Berkeley's Central Sierra Snow Lab, Andrew Schwartz, and he told us that we need more snow to keep up with our summer water needs here in California.
We are still dealing with a lot of bonus from last year. We were very wet. We have plenty of storage on our reservoirs. They are above average for this time of year, but we want to make sure that water carries forward. And the best way to do that is to have an average or above average year again this year. If we sit below average at all, that's when we have to start using some of those reserves. So we really want to see that additional snowpack come in to help keep those reservoirs above average.
That certainly is the goal here. For more now on these storms crossing the west, we turn to KTVU meteorologist Rosemary Orozco tracking this winter weather, and we are certainly not done yet.
Oh, no, Alex. Ask and you shall receive, apparently, because one storm moving out, you can see here, moving into areas of the desert southwest and the Intermountain West, where we do have that colder air and the freeze warnings we spoke about a moment ago. And already storm number 2 moving into the Pacific Northwest right on its heels. And this is going to continue into Wednesday over areas of California and then moving east into areas over Utah as well as Colorado and the Arizona area. Here's a look at the winter weather advisories and warnings in place for tonight into tomorrow. The winter storm warning, the darker shades of pink, the lighter shade of pink is a blizzard warning, a rare occurrence issued by the National Weather Service out of Seattle, Washington today. It's been 11 years since the last time they had to issue a blizzard warning for the Cascades for blowing snow and whiteout conditions. And the winter weather advisory stretches from the Pacific Northwest through California into Nevada, Nevada and all the way down into Arizona once again, where that freeze warning is continuing for even areas like Phoenix for tomorrow. A better look at the advisories, including along the coastline, as high surf and coastal flooding is expected through tomorrow as well, and what we can expect for the west in the extended forecast coming up.
All right, we'll see you in just a bit. Rosemary, thank you. Coming up tonight on West Coast Wrap, using artificial intelligence to keep schools safe. How the technology is being used in Utah to detect guns on school campuses. Plus, the man charged in the killing of rapper Tupac Shakur can await the start of his trial under house arrest. We'll have the details on today's court ruling. The man charged in rapper Tupac Shakur's killing may go home before the start of his June trial. A Las Vegas judge set bail today for Dwayne Davis at $750,000. If Davis posts bail, he will be able to wait for his trial to start under house arrest. Davis is suspected of ordering the hit that killed Shakur in Las Vegas back in 1996. Investigators arrested him last year after he implicated himself during several interviews and a 2019 memoir. The man who was caught on camera attacking a judge in a Las Vegas courtroom faces an attempted murder charge tied to his behavior. Deobra Redden appeared in court today to hear those new charges. Redden is facing a new judge in this case. Yesterday, the judge who was injured when Redden jumped over the bench and started throwing punches last week sentenced him to 18 months to 4 years in a battery case. Boeing CEO has acknowledged a mistake in the wake of that mid-flight blowout of an Alaska Airlines plane door. Here is a live look tonight at activity at San Francisco International Airport, where dozens of Alaska Airlines flights have been canceled today. The airline's Boeing 737 MAX 9 planes remain grounded in the aftermath of that blowout. KTVU's Tom Vakar explains where the investigation stands tonight.
Perhaps the most worrisome question in the Alaska Airlines air door plug blowout is, where are the 4 bolts that, if present and properly tightened, would have prevented the incident?
We have not yet recovered the 4 bolts that restrain it from its vertical movement, and we have not yet determined if they existed there. That will be determined when we take the plug to our lab in Washington, D.C.
The plane was allowed to fly last Saturday, even after the pressure warning system in the cockpit said there was a problem on 3 previous flights. As it was, the panel blew out 3 miles up, caused explosive decompression, massive fear, and a quick turnaround emergency landing Friday evening. This does not surprise aviation attorney and former U.S. Department of Transportation Inspector General Mary Schiavo.
And what often happens is they don't find a problem. They take it in, they check it out, they say no trouble found.
The plane's log is then simply amended to reflect that. It then becomes legally declared airworthy to fly again. But Alaska Airlines prohibited this almost brand new plane from flying over water, thereby pulling it out of Hawaii service.
Alaska Airlines reported to the NTSB that their internal policy is to restrict aircraft with multiple maintenance write-ups for certain aircraft systems.
The blowout even caused the impenetrable cockpit security door to fly wide open.
It is designed to open during rapid decompression. However, no one among the flight crew knew that.
That, says the NTSB, includes the pilot. So Boeing says it'll make changes to the aircraft's manual. Another question, how could the CVR, the cockpit voice recorder, which can hold 2 hours of pilot conversations, be recorded over after such a short turnaround flight? NTSB inspectors, right after the landing, may be partially responsible.
And it appeared to be powered up. Well, as soon as they powered it up again, the CVR starts recording. So I actually think that was probably a mistake.
Instead of relying on onboard voice and data recorders, Inspector General Schiavo and the International Civil Aviation Organization say they should be uploaded to satellites for instant access if there's an accident, or instant erasure if there is not.
Certain pilots were objecting that it was a privacy issue in the cockpit. You have no privacy rights in a cockpit.
Many experts say the FAA will have to make some changes to retain public confidence. Tom Vakar, KTVU Fox 2 News.
An Oregon judge struck down one of the toughest gun laws in the nation after it was approved by voters in 2022. The law would have required people to undergo a criminal background check and complete a gun safety training course in order to buy a firearm. It also would have banned high-capacity magazines. A Harney County Circuit Court judge finalized his decision to strike down the law yesterday. In November, the same judge ruled the law violated the right to bear arms under Oregon's Constitution. Schools in Utah may turn to artificial intelligence to help detect people carrying guns on campus. Fox 13's Darian DeBrule reports some people believe the technology will help to keep students and staff safe.
In the 2023 legislative session, the Utah legislature passed HB 61, school safety requirements, with the goal of increasing school safety.
Part of the legislation was this carve out for $3 million for the one-time opportunity for firearm detection software.
In December, the Utah State Board of Education approved a $3 million contract with Utah-based tech company Aegix Global.
Our contract focuses on creating ways that incidents can be actively managed, combined with technology called Zero Eyes.
Aegix Global CEO Chet Linton says there are two components to this technology. One, Aegix AIM, which provides first responders, educators, and administrators information related to the area and school, like maps of the building if an incident occurs. And two, Zero Eyes AI gun detection.
They have an artificial intelligence or AI technology that's designed to identify firearms when they're outside of a structure, and then immediately an alert can be sent off to their monitoring service. So they actually have offices that are monitoring 24/7. They verify that it's actually a firearm. In less than 3 seconds, they send an alert to us that goes out to responders.
This will be available for all 1,086 schools that wish to participate. This is not a requirement, this is an opportunity.
Rhett Larson, Utah State Board of Education school safety specialist, says they hope to have an application and rubric sent out to local education agencies, also known as LEAs, in February.
We will have the minimal requirements that will be needed. For example, schools will need to have cameras and certain technical requirements as part of those cameras, also like working Wi-Fi. Right now, they can request up to 4 cameras at their school to have the firearm detection software.
It's a lot of work for our districts. They've got to implement effectively, and we want to make sure that everybody gets trained right.
As the state and schools continue to explore ways to increase school safety, Larson says students should remain a focus.
It takes all of us to do that as part of this one large, I like to call it one large multidisciplinary team.
Once LEAs are selected, they'll have until the end of June 2025 to use the software. At that point, if they wish to keep using it moving forward, they'll need to work with local policymakers to secure funding. In Salt Lake City, I'm Darian DeBrule, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Oh, many parts of the country riddled with advisories and warnings for travel due to the winter weather out there, in the West is also included. We've got those advisories for winter travel for areas of the Pacific Northwest stretching through the Sierra Nevada and over towards Arizona. Here's a view once again of the storm that pushed through earlier today. You can see it's now moving into areas like Arizona and the Intermountain West. Storm number 2 already moving in. This one is going to bring snow levels down to about 2,000 feet for areas of the Pacific Northwest. And for the Sierra, we're looking at snow levels down to about 2,000 feet with several inches of snow, perhaps even 2 to 3 feet, all said and done. Not the only area with the advisories. We're talking about the coastline as well. For the Pacific Northwest, a high surf warning that is already in place and will go until tomorrow afternoon for large breaking waves. So we could see coastal flooding as well, inundation up to 2 feet above what we typically get in that area. The Bay Area also experiencing a coastal flood advisory for tomorrow. This in line with the king tides that are back, and minor flooding is expected in low-lying areas adjacent to the bay. One One more stop here into Southern California, where there is a coastal flood advisory here for parts of Ventura, Santa Barbara County into Los Angeles, as well as San Diego. As we go inland, we talked about this before the break, a freeze warning continues for parts of Arizona, and it does include the Phoenix area. That will be for tomorrow as well. The futurecast on this for tomorrow morning, it's well into the Pacific Northwest. It's dropping into California all the way to the Bay Area by about 7, 8 a.m. And then it works its way south over the course of the afternoon and evening hours into Southern California. It's also moving through Nevada, areas like Washington, Colorado, and then down into Arizona by early Thursday morning. Once it finally moves out, another storm on its heels for the weekend could be the coldest of the three. Not a whole lot of rain associated with this. Most areas will get half inch or less, unless we're talking about the Pacific Northwest. They are definitely going to get more, but again, it's going to be a big snowmaker. 1 to 2 feet of snow expected for the Sierra Nevada, up to 3 feet of snow expected for the Cascades and the Olympics. Temperature-wise, going to be freezing tomorrow morning over many areas of the west, and into the afternoons, temperatures are going to be below average for the next several days, with again a little bit of dry weather Thursday, Friday, more rain moving in Friday into Saturday. Alex.
Rosemary, thank you. Up next tonight on West Coast Wrap, a winter tradition makes a comeback in Alaska. Tonight we'll explain why some people didn't want to see the return of what's known as Snowzilla. Also, the tech industry's newest innovations on display in Las Vegas right now. We'll show you some of the gadgets that inventors hope you soon won't be able to live without. This was day one of this year's Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas. Tonight, Fox's Jackie Ibanez has more on the event, showing off a mix of artificial intelligence, healthcare gadgets, and electric cars.
Fabulous Las Vegas is getting a high-tech makeover as CES 2024, formerly known as the Consumer Electronics Show, kicks off Tuesday.
We'll have over 4,000 companies exhibiting here in literally 2.5 million net square feet of exhibit space.
The event gives inventors a chance to show off their gadgets to potential partners who could help their products grow to become household names. And this year, you can expect many devices to be jam-packed with artificial intelligence software.
AI that learns from the past, it keeps gathering data and learns from it and does things better.
Like these personal assistant robots from the company Enchanted Tools, which are expected to start helping nurses bring supplies and medicines to patients in French hospitals. Meanwhile, AI is also installed in wearable tech like this robotic exoskeleton that lets the user walk and run faster.
It automatically detects your running posture and your intent. Any tool will synchronize your motion. So you can push the ground much high impact.
And even this headband that tracks your brain waves and sleeping patterns, while AI creates personalized audio guides that help you fall asleep.
We do have the integrated bone conduction speakers above the ear to deliver via vibration through the ears to the users to put them to sleep.
AI is even for the dogs, with this bot that can play fetch with Fido and reward him with a special treat. Organizers expect roughly 130,000 attendees at this year's event. CES 2024 ends Friday. Jackie Ibanez, Fox News.
Finally tonight, Alaska's Snowzilla is back in Anchorage after a 10-year absence. The family that puts together the 20-foot-tall snowman stopped bringing it back each winter when it got a cease and desist notice from the city. The notice was sent because they got complaints from neighbors, but Snowzilla is back now. An impressive snowman. Thanks for watching West Coast Wrap. Have a good night.